Hey guys, Kenny here, the Hobby Cop, and thanks for stopping by my channel. So as you can see in the title, I'm sending in another PSA submission. Obviously the prices have gone up, but luckily the group submitter that I submit my cards through, their price was guaranteed until today when I'm filming this, so yesterday when you're probably seeing this. So I was able to get this submission in underneath the old prices. So it's a little bigger than I was actually planning, but it's just to make up for the price difference. Any cards I was looking to get, I guess, graded in the future, I guess might as well do them now with the old prices. So as the title also says, I'm doing mainly Marvel, and then I'm throwing in some different like football and basketball ones, baseball. A lot of stuff is personal collection. Even half the Marvel is just for my personal collection. So I'll tell you as I'm going through kind of like what service I'm sending them through and what grade I'm expecting to get from them. So let's switch over to the cards. Okay, so here we are, the lovely card breaking screen. In the background you can see I got a Spider-Man, I got a Hulk Hogan, Barry Bonds rookie, some Emmett Smith. The one with all the glare in the corner is a Bo Jackson breaker. So what I'm going to do is we'll do this in reverse order, I guess. So I'll save like my favorite ones for last. So first of all, this is being sent on the slow service. So this is going to be back in, I guess, hopefully 9 months. We'll see. You never know with the backlog. So we'll start here. We have my first card is a Tom Brady 2020 Prism, obviously. I picked this up actually out of a dollar box. So I'm sending it in hoping to get at least a PSA 9. I would say it's a little off-centered, a little narrow on this side compared to the other. But like I said, with the old pricing, sending this in for whatever it is going to be like $15 or something, I think it's worth it. So 2020 Prism, Tom Brady, obviously his first year in the Bucs uniform and winning a Super Bowl, his number 7. So that's going to go off. Next, I have a John Morant. This is, I think, Essentials Pink, they call it. I think this is a great looking card. I don't see any flaws with it at all. I'm not really sure how they do centering on cards without a border. But yeah, so we'll see if that comes back as centered. And like I said, these are a lot from my personal collection, so I'm sending that one in the slow service as well. Next, we have a Justin Herbert. This would be kind of like a parallel, the orange. This is from Playbook. I know these are kind of a cheaper card, but it's actually one of the only 2 Justin Herberts I was able to pull this year. So I'm sending him off on the cheaper service. Hopefully come back middle to the end of late next year's football season. I may sell this one off. The next Justin Herbert here, the Rookie Rush, I really like the look of that. So I'm going to keep this one for my personal collection. Obviously, I'd love for it to get a 10, but if it doesn't, that's fine. So I'm assuming, like I said, I didn't look at enough of these cards to see how they're made up, but obviously this border is a lot bigger than the bottom. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like that, but anyway, that one's going off for my personal collection. Next, I have Bo Bichette. I'm a big Blue Jays fan. This was his opening day blue foil, they call it. It's in mint shape, no scuffs, marks, or anything like that. Again, without borders, it's hard to tell what they judge for centering on these because obviously there's only this one border, nothing compare on the other side. So hoping that this comes back at 10, that would be for my personal collection. So again, we have a Joe Burrow going off. One of the only Joe Burrows I got this year. I got this actually through doing a card break. It's a nice Joe Burrow. Obviously, it's not one of his high-end ones, but it's just nice to have one of his cards. And then finally, I have a Fernando Tatis Jr., Alice in Ginter, 2019. I had a couple other Fernando Tatises, but I just like the look of this one. Other ones may have sold for a little bit more, but if I'm keeping this for myself, you never know, I could sell it, but I like the look of that one, so that one's being sent off again on the slow service, so for $15 a card, and they say through the group submitter it is a 9-month guarantee, so we'll see if that is correct. So that is. Now I have these grouped because like when you do the submission, obviously the pricing's different. So this is the modern pile. So the next pile will be more older stuff here. So this group here will have some Marvel and sports mixed into it. So first we have the Infinity Gauntlet from this is 1991 Marvel series. This is weapons, as you can see up in the front. So they would have your superheroes, your villains, your weapons, and famous battles, I think, for that set as well, just like the 1990. I'm submitting this one because Tate wanted it for himself, so I'm sending that off to be graded. It should be graded pretty good. Maybe the centering's a little weak on the top, but Tate wanted this for himself, so I'm sending it off to be graded for Tate. Next, this one is not being sent off from the rush service, even though it's in mint condition. It's a little weak on the centering on this side, so I have a feeling it's going to come back at PSA 9. Captain America PSA 9 still sells for a decent amount of money, but the 10 is what I'm only willing to send off for rush service. So this is a number 1 card in the set, Captain America 1990 Marvel Universe. So that's the next one. So again, here we have Thanos from the 1990 Marvel Universe set. This is card number 79. I think the centering is pretty good on this. Anything a little weak on the bottom compared to the top. The sides are pretty even. So sending off the slower service. So if it comes back at 9, selling it is still worth something. The next one here is a 1990 Marvel Universe Rookies. Tate requested this one as well for his own collection. So you can see it's one of the rookie cards. I think they had like, I don't know the exact off my head, but maybe like 5 different rookies where it said like rookies across the top, even though most of these cards are considered the rookie cards because it's the first set. This is Ghost Rider 1990 card number 82. So that's being sent off as well. So now we're into some more sports stuff. So this is Troy Aikman. So I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. The teams that I like are for football, it's Dallas Cowboys. For basketball, it's the New York Knicks. And for baseball, it's the Toronto Blue Jays. So I grew up watching Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Jay Novacek, all those guys winning Super Bowls. So this is Troy Aikman's Topps Traded rookie card. So this is one that's kind of considered his rookie because there's other ones there as well. So this is 70T. But yeah, it's a nice looking card. I think if I'm being really picky, you'll get a 9 because it's a little off-centered, so it's a little light on this side, heavy on that side, but still corners are crisp, edges are crisp, surface is perfect. So this will be for my personal collection, so whatever comes back, I will be happy with it. This is from the 1991 Pro Set football series. Obviously, Bill Belichick's rookie card. If this would have been a PSA 10, I would have sent it off the kind of the express service because it goes for over $1,000 in a 10. I just feel that there's a little bit of whitening, and I don't know if you'll be able to make it out here. No, a little bit of whitening in a couple of the corners you can see up here. So I don't think it's going to come back at 10. Well, I know it won't come back at 10. I'm hoping for a 9. If it's a 9, it's still worth it. If it's 8, it's still worth it at this price. So sending that one off as well. So next we have Chipper Jones. This is from 1991 Score, first round draft pick for the Atlanta Braves. Obviously Chipper Jones, Hall of Fame career. So this is his rookie card. What a beautiful picture of Chipper Jones on the back there. But yeah, this card, I think this has the potential to come back as 10. If I'm being critical, if you look at it here, it's a little light on this side, a little heavy on that side. So they do allow a little bit of leeway. So if anything, it will come back a 9. I'm confident of that. Hopefully 10. The next 3 cards I'm submitting for a friend. I went over to his house and watched the Super Bowl, and he pulled out his cards, and I went through them, and we found some little hidden gems there for him, so I'm submitting these off for him. So this is Topps Traded Bo Jackson's Super Rookie card from, what is this, 1988. Do I have that right? Yeah, 1988 is Bo Jackson rookie card. To me, this card is mint, other than I don't know if we'll be able to pick it up there. Yeah, you can see it right up here when I move it around. There's a little tiny speck. I don't know if that's a printing imperfection or something like that, but that's the only marking on that card. The corners are crisp, the centering's awesome. If this comes back at 10, that's a $1,500 card. We're just setting it off on the slow service just in case it comes back a 9 due to that marking. But you can see the centering's amazing on that, and this is Bo Jackson's rookie card. Next, my friend there wanted me to submit this one for him. It's a Barry Sanders rookie card. It's not considered his kind of like true rookie card. I think it's a Topps one as well. But this is from the Pro set, and it's in his. So the issues, I guess, with this one, I guess Pro sets sometimes aren't highly regarded. Sometimes it's 1989. And also it's in his college uniform, so a lot of collectors sometimes don't like that. But this, the friend I'm sending this off for, he wants to keep this for himself. This is his favorite running back. It'll probably come back a 9. You can obviously see the centering is off there. So I think it'll come back a 9, and he'll still be happy with that. So next we have Jaromir Jagr. Jaromir Jagr, O-Pee-Chee Premier card. This is 1991. This is Jaromir Jagr's rookie cards with Pittsburgh Penguins. Obviously, amazing goal scorer. His rookie card has slowed down a little bit over the past months. It was on fire there, but I think so many people sent in cards, and there's a ton of PSA 9s out there. So our hope would be that this would come back a PSA 10. You can see, if anything, being super picky here, it's a little light on this side. So maybe a PSA 10, still worth sending in for like $15 American. Fingers crossed it comes back a 10, but I guess my bet would be a 9. It's still worth it for a PSA 9. But like I said, there's so many of them out there right now. The price has dropped compared to what it was a couple months ago. So now we're back into kind of a mix of cards here. We got another Marvel Universe one here. This is Thor. Sending this one off. I think I'm going to gift it to my brother. And it looks like it may be a little weak on the bottom. So maybe come back at PSA 9. But that will be earmarked to him up in Toronto once it comes back. But sending that one off as well. This one, I wasn't sure about sending it in. And I ended up putting it in. It's not going to be a 10. It's going to end up being a 9, just it's a little light on these two edges. But just kind of a historical kind of card. When you look at it, it's about the World War. Red Skull has the Nazi flag in the background. I really don't think this type of card would be printed nowadays, especially with the Nazi flag on the back. So you can see here on the back, he's been trained by Adolf Hitler to be a living embodiment of the Nazi cause. So I think like for politically correct and PC, I don't think this card would be made nowadays. So that's why I'm sending it off. I think it's kind of a little bit of piece of history. I think it will come back at 9, but I'm fine with that for spending $15 on that. Next we have Wolverine, first edition or limited series 1. I think this card's going to come back at 10. Like if you look at all the corners, they're perfectly lined up. The edges are crisp. No issue with this card whatsoever. I think this will come back at 10. It's not an overly valuable one of the Wolverine cards. I have another more valuable one that I'm going to send in Express. But this card I think is mint, and I really like it. It's pretty cool. Next we have a card that I'm sending off. I was hesitant. I don't know if it's a bunch of eBay hype or what have you. But this is a 1990 Don Russ Ken Griffey Jr. card. It's not his rookie card. 89 would be his rookie card. This is obviously 1990. Now I think they're kind of like, what do people call them, like shell bidding or fake bidding. There's a couple of these cards that sold for like thousands of dollars, and what they say is super rare. It's missing the dot after ink. So if you see up here, it says, I don't know if that will focus now, but it says 1990 Leaf ink. And I actually did look at different, and you see there's no dot there. So I actually did look at different eBay listings, and a lot of them do have a dot after the ink. And then this one is supposed to be a misprint, doesn't have the dot. But you know what? For $15, I'll send it off. I'll get it graded. If that's just kind of like a hoax, fake bidding, so be it. I have a nice Ken Griffey card. The red will match the PSA header. I think if I'm being critical, it'll come back a 9 due to being a little light versus that edge. But you never know. Maybe it is a rare card. I don't know. If you know, leave a comment down below for me. But for $15, I'll send it off and we'll see what happens. And finally, I have a card. Obviously, I said I was a big Dallas Cowboy fan. I have tons of Emmitt Smith cards. But this one is Walter Payton, one of the greatest, I guess you'd say, football players. Seems like greatest person that ever played football too, since they named the Walter Payton Award after him. Somebody that does a lot for their community and just an all-around great person. And he's an amazing running back. So I'm setting this one off. I don't think it's going to get a 10. That's why it's going off the cheap service. It's a little light there and on the bottom. But just a beautiful card. And I'll get that graded, and that'll be for my personal collection. I'm not going to sell that. So these ones are the non-modern ones. So it's a different pricing tier than the first ones. But now we'll go into the ones I'm sending off through the Rush service. Okay, so as you saw before, I had another Captain America. This was the best out of the two Captain Americas. I think it looks, obviously the corners are really crisp, the edges are crisp, the image is crisp, there's no marks, nothing on the back, #1 card of the series. So it's all going to come down to centering. And I've looked and I've looked and I've looked, and if anything, it's so hard to say. I'd say maybe it's a little light on this side and the bottom compared to the top, like very marginal. So I'm hoping that this will come in a PSA 10. So if it's like a, I don't know, like a 55 45 split, that'll be enough to keep it a PSA 10. So I'm hoping on that one. So saying that on the Rush service. So that's the 45-day service. I think they listed it as 20 days, but that's 20 business days from the time they receive it to the time they finish grading it. So you put in weekends and you put in shipping, it ends up being roughly 45. So the cards I have 9 cards out right now on a 45-day service. So the month before I submitted, they just came back in and it was roughly right around 45 days. So again, we're expecting those back the end of March. So hopefully this comes back in another 45 days as a PSA 10. The next is the Black Panther. I think I sent this guy off in my first submission, the 9 cards, but this is the second one I was able to pick up. I got a second set, and I'm thinking this will come back a PSA 10. It's a little light on this border, when you look at it, but I'm happy to get a PSA 9 on this. So basically what I plan on doing is the 2 I send in, if I get 2 9s, if I get 1 10, I'll sell the higher grade and keep one for my personal collection. So that's why I'm doing that. So I'll have a double. Same thing goes for Stan Lee here. I think this one is pretty nice. If anything, this border is a little lighter than that border. So I'm setting that off because in my last 9, I sent in the other Stan Lee. And again, same thing, sending the 2 off. The highest one I'll sell off, and then the other one I'll keep for my personal collection. I have no problem keeping PSA 9s in my personal collection. Nothing wrong with that. So that one's going off. And finally, I think I'd say the best centered out of all of them, why can't I pick it up, is this Wolverine one. It's a Wolverine number 10. I think Wolverine has 3 cards. He has this one. Well, I actually think he has 4 cards. This one, the one that I showed you earlier, was the magazine cover. He has another one where he's breaking through some glass, and then another one, I think, where he has some type of weapon in his hand. But this one, again, if I'm going to be picky on anything, it's a little light on this side versus this side. But again, these are all being sent off through my Rush kind of service. 45 days, still not a bad price. I think I pay $50 American. I'm here in Canada, so that translates to roughly, I think, $76 Canadian to get these graded each. Obviously, if I get 9s, I'm still making money. If I get a 10, then I'm just laughing. So there we go. Stan Lee, the Black Panther, I'm pretty sure he's going to be a 9. Captain America and Wolverine, I'm really hoping for 10s on these 2. So leave comments down below. What do you think? What do you think of all the different cards? So just to summarize, there's going to be 3 bunches. So this is my Express. This was my modern one that had like Tom Brady and Justin Herbert in it. Then the other kind of like not modern had a lot of my football guys and baseball and stuff like that. So thanks for watching my video. I really appreciate it, guys, all the subs and likes for the videos and the comments. I really enjoy the comments. People have been leaving, like, some of my videos have been getting like 40, 50 comments, people asking questions, people discussing things. So that really makes me happy to see all the engagement. So again, like, subscribe, leave a comment, say something, and we'll see you on the next one.